Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another Real Madrid review. Real Madrid 1, Valencia 2. Um, I don't know what to say. I don't know where do we begin in terms of discussing about this game and, you know, just everything that happened today because it was absolutely shocking in my opinion. I thought that that was probably one of the worst performances I've ever seen from Real Madrid. And look, as a Real Madrid fan, I've seen many, and look, I've not been watching Real Madrid since, you know, 2000s, early 2010s, but I have seen Real Madrid play against Ajax and lost and got humiliated. I have seen Real Madrid get dumped many times by Manchester City. I've seen Real Madrid lose to Man City many times in the Champions League. I've seen Chelsea beat Real Madrid. I've seen, name it all, Barcelona humiliate Real Madrid, this season. But even before, many times I've seen Real Madrid lose many games. But look, this game was supposed to be, I'm not gonna say easy, because clearly it isn't, and it wouldn't have been anyways. But it should be a winnable game. I think everyone, knows that. I think on paper, you look at Real Madrid, probably the best team in the world when everyone is actually playing well. But it's Real Madrid. The players, you've got these set and these group of players, and you've got Valencia, who are a good side. They are, way below where they should be. They shouldn't be 16th. They shouldn't be in a relegation battle. They should be a top 10 team, in my opinion. But they've come to the Santiago Bernabeu, and they have outclassed everyone on that pitch today. And realistically, the only players I feel bad for today are the same, Mbappe and Bellingham, as the same last week. Last week against Leganes, the only two players I thought that showed up was Mbappe and Bellingham. And today, I'm not going to say they were good. Yes, they created many chances. Yes, they had many opportunities to score, which they didn't put in the back of the net. But what I want to see at this moment of time with the struggles is the effort. It's not to just drop off your standards, your ability. I personally thought that Mbappe and Bellingham played well, but they were playing with, it was almost like they were playing with players around them that were just not capable of doing anything, especially defensively. Coming into this game, we knew, and I said in the preview, that defensively this team is shocking right now, and there isn't anything that this team can do well in the defense. You can have, Rudiger back, Asensio could have started, but it wouldn't have changed the impact of this game. And I'm not going to put it all on Lucas Vazquez. I'm not going to put it all on Fran Garcia. I'm not going to put it all on, Fran Gonzalez. In fact, I thought Fran Gonzalez was actually pretty good. What's he supposed to do? But I'm not going to put it on one individual. I think that it is a lot more to the picture than just an individual player. I think it's a collective. I think there is something wrong right now. And I think that we blame the players. I think we talk about these players not performing. But what is the tactics? What is the instructions given to these players? Look, we know that Real Madrid play with this sort of freedom where players can just express themselves. Vini Jr., Mbappe, Rodrigo, Bellingham, these players, they do what they want to do on the pitch. That's how Carlo Ancelotti has always been. I think there was this documentary talking about, I think it was in the past when he had, Carlo Ancelotti had, I think it was the opportunity to sign, was it Roberto Baggio, if I'm not wrong, for one of his former teams, and he rejected that offer, and because he didn't suit his system. And Carlo Ancelotti basically said that ever since that decision, he has regretted. He has decided to be more flexible and not stick to a system. So, obviously that does mean that he's more flexible as a coach. He's not really a tactical coach, obviously, right? But where is the sort of we're watching Real Madrid play and we're going, let's rely on individuals to come out and perform. We are relying on Mbappe. Can he score worthy for us? Bellingham, can he score worthy for us? Can Fede Valverde hit a rocket? Can Vini Jr. dribble past 10 players and score? We are relying on little moments to get us through time and time again. There isn't a system, there isn't, free-flowing football, there isn't beautiful football. It is just relying on an individual player. Now, I'm not expecting us to play like Barcelona because we are not Barcelona. We've never played like them. We've never been, a similar play style, the tiki-taka, whatever. That is that, right? But in football, there are so many types of way you approach the game. More than just one type of tiki-taka football. There's so many ways. And we don't have that. We do not have that. I mean, to start off the foundations, right? In the defense, the keeper I thought was actually pretty, decent. I don't think Fran Gonzalez was great by any means, but I don't think he was poor. Lucas Vazquez, okay, what is the issue with Lucas Vazquez? Defensively, he isn't strong enough if he's facing a physical player on the left hand side, and he is not quick to recover. And from what we have seen, Lucas Vazquez, he doesn't has the positional sense. He doesn't know where to be, when to be at. He has the positional sense of a winger, and that is because he was a winger. He's not a right back. So why have the club allowed Lucas Vazquez to be the backup right back up until 2025 in April? I mean, is it not clear enough that ever since Zinedine Zidane used Lucas Vazquez in lockdown at right back because he really had no option? Okay? Why, 5 years on from then, have we still decided, look, we're going to keep Lucas Vazquez at right back as the backup to Dani Carvajal? Why is that the case? How is that the case? Yeah. But positionally, he isn't there. He's always pushing forward. He's tucked in he's tucked into the middle of the pitch. He's not at right back. Then the same could be said for Fran Garcia. He's a very attacking left back, leaves space in behind. The two centre backs, I don't know what to say, but there wasn't anything, extremely poor. But come on, it wasn't great. It wasn't great, and I don't think the centre backs were that bad, but they weren't great. The midfield, look, Luka Modric at 39. I'm sorry, but I just don't see a place where he should be starting most of the games. I think occasionally starting, yes, but my issue here is Tchouaméni starting at centre back. I put him as CDM in my preview, and Raul Asensio gets compromised because of that. Yet again, we've seen Aurélien Tchouaméni playing centre back again. Look, Tchouaméni's got a good goal against Real Sociedad, but he's not a centre back. The problem is not him starting. The problem is him starting as centre back. The midfield. Look, the midfield lost the battle in terms of defensive recovery. Bellingham, Valverde, and Modric are obviously great midfielders, but they're not defensive midfielders, and they were getting bypassed in terms of, the battle. But my bigger issue is the attack, because when Vinny Jr. has the ball, he's getting marked by 2 or 3 players. So then, who supports Vinny Jr.? Because there isn't a midfield player going there to support him, and the only player who he can pass to is Fran Garcia, who is supporting him on the overlap. So, okay, Vinny Jr. passes it to Fran Garcia. What happens? Fran Garcia puts multiple crosses into the box. I'm sorry, but why are we putting in crosses into the box when, firstly, we don't have a physical number 9, we don't have a physical presence in the box, Bellingham is not playing in the box anymore, and the deliveries aren't even that good anyways. Like, the balls get sent in and it's cleared away. Like, it's not reaching anybody. So we are wasting chances because we are constantly putting in crosses, high balls. And the commentator said it well. Okay? You have got Endrick, Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo all on. And you have got players like Fran Garcia, you've got Alaba coming on and putting in high balls into the box. Not low driven balls into the box, high balls into the box. I'm sorry, but can you please remind, me, if Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Arda Güler, anyone, Endrick, if any of those players are physical players? Because from what I remember, they are not 6'5" or in the box waiting. So why are we putting in crosses? I don't know. And then the attack was dead. I mean, Brahim didn't do anything. Vinny Jr. missed a penalty. Great. And look, I think that addressing this penalty issue, earlier this season, when Mbappe, I believe, missed against Athletic Club, I said that we have to find a proper penalty kick taker. And when I say that, I mean you have one taker, be it Mbappe, Bellingham or Vinicius, and no matter what, you stick by that player. If Mbappe takes the penalty, he misses, the next penalty he takes, he will be the one. You cannot be flip-flopping within 3 players to constantly rotate. I mean, you look at the biggest teams. We're going to play Arsenal. Okay? Usually, Saka takes the penalty kick take. They don't give it to Kai Havertz all the time and then rotate it to Saka and then let's give it to Odegaard and let's just have these 3 constantly changing. Yes, the other players can take it in terms of if the player is absent. But when you have got Mbappe, Vinicius and Bellingham all playing, who is the main taker? We've seen Mbappe take some, we've seen Bellingham take some, and we've seen Vinicius take some. So who is it? Because now that Vini has taken this, I bet you in the next game, the next time we get a penalty, Bellingham's going to take it. Or Mbappe is going to take it. Because that isn't a fixed penalty kick taker. I mean, which big club, which big team has 3 players rotating for a penalty kick? And you want to know why that isn't good? Because confidence is affected. Because when you're stepping up to the penalty kick, you know the pressure's on you. Because the moment you miss, you are being stripped of this penalty. So Vinicius Jr. would have stepped up to the penalty thinking, okay, I must score. If not, I won't take the next one. And he has taken it like he's trying to pass. That is such a comfortable save. Any keeper was going to save that. No power, no, positioning, no accuracy. He didn't place it anywhere. He was straight at Mamadashvili. Great job to Mamadashvili. Brilliant game. Dives the right way. But as soon as you dive that way, you are saving it 101%. Come on. What is that penalty? And then, yeah. There's so much to discuss in terms of what is going on right now. In terms of the wrong. Because tactically, there is nothing. Defensively, it is awful. Midfield, I feel like this is the first time I'm ever going to say this, but we miss Dani Ceballos in his midfield. Like, come on. miss a player who can dictate the play, who is willing to do a dirty job in terms of sweeping up the ball, winning the ball back. I mean, Modric is not that, Valverde is not that, Bellingham is not that, Camavinga really isn't that. Realistically, Tchouaméni is that, but then he's being played at centre back. Raul Asensio is benched. And then the fullbacks are the most attacking fullbacks you can possibly get, which means that the defense is exposed literally 100% of the time. And look, I think it's time we have this serious discussion that we all are grateful and we all recognize Lucas Vazquez as a club legend. I think anyone who says he isn't are not proper fans of this club. I think we have to acknowledge that Lucas Vazquez is a club legend. He's in that category. What he has done for this club, the service, he's one of those players like Nacho, for example. He doesn't complain when he doesn't play, but when he does play, he steps up literally every game and he has no complaints, right? But I feel like as much as we appreciate him as the legend he is, we also have to take into consideration that he isn't a right back. We cannot be risking playing him at right back just because he's a legend. That's not how it works. So I think that if that means this summer it's a goodbye, we will acknowledge him for being a legend. But the further it gets, the more ungrateful fans will be. And I think fans will start piling in on him. Fans will start blaming Lucas Vazquez. And it's not his fault entirely, because he isn't a right back, as we have said many, many, many times. But I think that it's time that we have to look at it and go, we need a right back. We need an improvement. And the other left back spot, I think we need Ferland Mendy back. I think, again, people are going to say Ferland Mendy is a bad offensive left back. I agree. But I'd rather my left back defend well than attack well. And Fran Garcia attacks well. He does the overlap well. But my two issues is, like I said, one, he puts in far too many crosses for absolutely no reason. And number two, he's too offensive. He doesn't get back quick enough. Sometimes he does, but most of the time he doesn't. And for me, we need Ceballos back for Arsenal. I think we need to have a midfield of Ceballos, Tchouaméni, and Bellingham. And Fede Valverde goes in at right back. I think if you want to have any chance to beat Arsenal, which is slim, I think any team can beat Real Madrid now. Leganes have proved that they could. Real Sociedad have proved that they could. Valencia have proved that they could because they did it. We are playing Arsenal this upcoming midweek and the next. I don't think any team is scared of Real Madrid. I don't think any team is scared of this team right now. I don't think anyone is scared of, Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, Bellingham. I don't think anyone is scared of this team. Because apart from the 3 to 4 attacking stars, the midfield is a mess. The defense is completely shambles. It's shambolic. It's horrible. And there isn't a tactic. There isn't solutions to the game. I mean, Carlo Ancelotti came out and said after the game that we deserve to win. I mean, that is... If you watch the game, right, and you look based on stats, and you look based on the amount of chances Real Madrid had, stats, 21 shots to 10, 9 shots on target to 2, yes, right, we deserve to win. Okay. But that is so basic to just say because of stats, because Mbappe had many chances, and because Mamadashvili had a great game, we deserve to win. We didn't deserve to win. Yes, we dominated. We had more opportunities, attempts. But you know what we deserve to win means? It means that Real Madrid actually were clinical and did not slip up defensively. If you are not clinical, if you slip up defensively and you concede 2 goals cheaply, The second goal was literally pure disaster class because everyone was pushing forward and it was throwing the kitchen sink at Valencia, and you leave yourself exposed. But the 2 goals were cheap goals to give away. If you're gonna be making mistakes like that, if you're not gonna score, you can't break down the team like Valencia. You can't score. You miss penalties. Then how can you say you deserve to win? How can you say you were better? I don't really want to talk about the game, to be honest, because it was shocking. Diakabe scored for Valencia. The first goal, corner comes in, Rudiger gets out jumped, outwon the ball, and it's a free header. I'm not gonna blame Fran Gonzalez for that because, no one's saving that, to be honest. The equalizing goal, again, cross comes in from the corner. Think there was a flick on, and Vinny Jr. is in the box. Good goal. And then, the winning goal for Valencia, overcommitting everyone forward. They win the ball back. They're transitioning into attack. And Rafa Mea puts the cross in for Hugo Duro. Of course, it's the ex-Real Madrid player. And it's a simple header. It's a free header again. And it was Alaba up against him. Yeah. But look, I don't know what to say. I don't know where we're gonna go from this, but obviously Laliga is over. I know Barcelona drew with Real Betis, but 4 points. I mean, look, that rubs it in even more because the fact that Barcelona didn't win meant that if Real Madrid had won this game, which we should have, 1 point behind, you are looking back at it. But now we are 4 points behind. Great. What a crap weekend as well. What a crap weekend. It really is a crap weekend, isn't it? Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you're a Real Madrid fan, I don't think you would have, but hit the number of state, subscribe to the channel if it's on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.